Most people think bowling perfection is a 300 game. It's not. It's a 900 series, 3 straight perfect games, 36 consecutive strikes. One man achieved it, and the sport itself tried to erase it. Bowling's most famous number is 300, a single game of 12 strikes, no mistakes, a symbol of flawless execution. But that's only the beginning. The true summit is a 900 series, 3 consecutive perfect games, 36 strikes in a row, bowled in a single league night. This is about perfection. Statistically, the odds are staggering. In the early 1980s, a single 300 game was already rare. About 1 in 3,000 league games ended that way. But to repeat perfection twice more without a single slip pushes the achievement into near mythical territory. Records show that at the time, no bowler had ever completed a 900 series in sanctioned play. The formula is simple, 3 times 300 is 900, but the reality is almost unreachable. The sport's official record books had a blank space where a 900 should have been, waiting for a night when everything for one bowler would align perfectly. July 1st, 1982 began like any other league night at La Habra 300 Bowl, but by sundown the alley had become the center of something extraordinary. Glenn Allison, a 57-year-old with decades of bowling behind him, stepped onto lanes 13 and 14 for the Anchor Girl Trio League. The sound of his Columbia yellow dot ball echoed off the wooden boards, each roll smooth and unhurried. One strike followed another, the scoreboard ticking upward, 300, then 600, then the unthinkable. By the third game, word had spread. Bowlers from other lanes crowded behind the approach, the usual chatter replaced by a hush. The final frame arrived. Allison released his 36th shot. The pins crashed, and the scoreboard flashed 900. For a moment, the room stood still. Then applause and cheers filled the air. Teammates and strangers alike rushed to congratulate him, some calling out Mr. 900. The paper score sheet, signed and sealed, captured a perfect night that for everyone present felt like the rewriting of history. Officialdom's voice came quickly, and with it a strange kind of praise. The American Bowling Congress reviewed Allison's score sheet, the signed affidavits, and the records from La Habra Bowl. In internal memos and press statements, they called it what it was, a 900 series, 3 perfect games in a row, 36 strikes without a single miss. Would have been the first 900 series in history, read one bulletin, if only the lanes had met every technical rule. The words hung in the air, recognition, but with an asterisk. On paper, the achievement was flawless. In the eyes of the rule book, it was incomplete. The same officials who marveled at the statistics also pointed to the fine print, lane oil measurements, surface checks, and the strictest interpretation of compliance. In 1982, about 8% of award scores were denied for technicalities. Allison's name joined that list, not for any failure of skill, but for conditions beyond his control. The paradox was clear. The sport's highest praise was delivered at arm's length. The American Bowling Congress inspection team arrived at La Habra Bowl less than 24 hours after Glenn Allison's 900 series. Their task was precise: measure, record, and compare every detail of the lanes against the rulebook. Using a portable oil thickness gauge, inspectors found that the oil pattern on lanes 13 and 14 varied by more than 10% between the midsection and rear, a direct violation of Rule 4.8, which required a uniform oil application for any award-eligible score. The inspection report, signed and filed that same week, cited this technical breach as the deciding factor. No evidence of tampering, no hint of cheating, just a measurable difference in oil depth, enough to trigger the rule's unforgiving language. The National Scoring Committee reviewed the findings and voted to deny the sanction, sending Allison a formal letter dated July 4, 1982. The letter referenced Rule 4.8 by number and warned that any future scores under similar conditions would face the same outcome. For Allison, the verdict was final: perfection on the lanes, but not on paper. Denials like Allison's were not rare in the early 1980s. About 8% of award scores submitted to the American Bowling Congress faced rejection, most often for technical violations tied to lane conditions. The rules demanded uniformity, including oil patterns, surface flatness, and precise measurements, and they left little room for exceptions, even for a night as extraordinary as July 1, 1982. When Allison's case reached federal court, the judge sided with the ABC, affirming their authority to enforce their own standards. The decision was clear. Athletic achievement alone could not override the rulebook. Officially, the 900 series would remain outside the record books, sealed by the very system meant to protect the sport's integrity. 15 years after Glenn Allison's night at La Habra, the United States Bowling Congress finally entered a 900 series into its official record. On February 2, 1997, Jeremy Sonnenfeld rolled 3 perfect games in Lincoln, Nebraska, earning the first sanctioned 900 series. Yet the bowling world never let go of Allison's feat. Bowlers and fans still called him Mr. 900, a title that stuck long after the rulebook passed him by. In 2019, the U.S. House of Representatives formally recognized Glenn Allison as the original Mr. 900, honoring the achievement that the sport's own records could never fully erase. Perfection on paper still loses to rules inked in bureaucracy. Glenn Allison's 36 strikes stand, unclaimed yet unforgettable. Sometimes the record books blink, but the public memory never does. What's your verdict?